Hi, everyone. My name is Lorne Jaffe, and I'm the producer of This Is My Brave, New York City. Welcome. First, I'd like to thank Juella Baltadano and Laura Casatano, both Hunter College graduates, for their gorgeous rendition of Sarah Bareilles' Brave, which is becoming an apt tradition for each This Is My Brave show. And of course, to Christian Finnegan for his wonderful set. Please give them all a round of applause. I do have one announcement before we move forward. Unfortunately, Elizabeth Swados was unable to participate due to a scheduling clash, but she so wanted to be here. The stage has always been home to a certain type of magic and storytelling, but not usually the type of storytelling that saves lives, and definitely not the type of magic you'll experience this afternoon. The stories you'll hear today will make you laugh, cry, empathize, understand, continue the conversation, and maybe even inspire you to tell your own story. That is the goal of This Is My Brave. The show exists to help eradicate the deep-seated stigmas created by society about mental illness through comedy, song, poetry, essay, and monologue. And the cast that my production team and I have assembled are going to blow you away with their talent, with their personal battles, and with their bravery. Brave has always been a tough word for me. And it's definitely one I never thought would be applied to myself. I've battled depression and anxiety for a long time and wound up bottling things up to a point where it all exploded, leaving me unable to work and on disability. Since then, I've become a stay-at-home dad, an isolating position regardless of gender that can literally cause depression and exacerbate it in those that already have it. So I turned to blogging, and I shared my story, and somehow I was chosen in February 2014 as a blog spotlight reader at a fatherhood conference. I wrote about my depression and garnered a standing ovation that shocked the hell out of me. But even more surprising was how people kept coming to me and calling me brave. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I fought the label just as much as I fight the stigma of mental illness. But a year and a half later, 2 months after I said, yes, when Jennifer Marshall, the co-founder and executive director of This Is My Brave, Jen, could you please stand up? When Jen asked if I'd be interested in producing a show in New York after I'd written about the organization for a site called Dads for Change, I sat in a casting room and watched people walk in, some shaking, some needing familial strength on the other side of the door. I watched them bare their souls and give us lucky members of the production team every vulnerable fiber, and I got it. This was true bravery. And if they were brave, then so am I. So I want to thank Jen and her co-founder, Anne-Marie Ames, who couldn't be here today, for entrusting us with this show and for allowing us to find the marvelous cast sitting behind me. I'm proud to be the first male producer in the history of This Is My Brave, and I urge more men with mental illness to stop hiding behind the stigma of being vulnerable and admitting that you're mentally ill isn't masculine. That's so far from the truth. I want to thank my associate producer, Rachel Godfrey, who will do the closing remarks, and the rest of our team, Eric Godfrey, Peggy Samedi, and Kristen McCarthy-Parker. I want to thank my parents, my wife, my friends, my therapist, and my fellow stay-at-home dads and dad bloggers for giving us so much love and support. And I'm preemptively thanking my 3.5-year-old daughter, who's here for not making too much noise. But most of all, I want to thank our cast for being willing to get up on this stage and tell their stories, for creating the This Is My Brave New York City community, which is now part of the entire This Is My Brave community, which is part of the mental health advocacy community. You see, community is how we're going to end this stigma. Remember in Silver Linings Playbook when Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence sit around laughing about what meds each of them have been on? Well, that's an important source of therapy because they both realize they're not alone. And all of us at This Is My Brave New York City have listened to each other and realized that we're not alone. We're a community, and the way to end the stigmas about mental illness is through sharing stories, real stories, by talking about the ups and downs, by showing the world we're not weak, we're not dangerous, and by inviting those without mental illness into the conversation, because Lord knows this country needs more serious discussion about mental health issues. A week here, a month there, it's just not enough. And by showing up here this afternoon, you're part of our community as well. And we'd like you to go nuts on social media so we can expand and educate. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else the kids are using these days. Hashtags are storytelling saves lives and be brave. So let's make this community of people with and without mental illness as big as the American population. Hell, let's aim for the world. And we'll do it all through storytelling, because truly, storytelling saves lives. And now it's time to start the magic.